I'm with you, Lois Lane.
Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It's great to see you. Happy Monday. How are you all doing this Monday? I am sorry it took a little extra time to get the thing posted this morning. It's been a bit wild, but I'm very happy to see you. Very happy that we're here. Welcome back. I'm going to check our thread in just a minute, but I just wanted to let you know our plan of attack for today. If you were with us on Friday night for our cocktail night, it was a really great cocktail night. But I had a few more slides at the end that I didn't get to. So I want to start the episode today. I'm just catching up on those last slides from gallery night, Friday night, this past Friday. Of course, you are always welcome and encouraged to start sending in all your projects, everything that you're working on for the next gallery night, which would be fantastic, right? It's always great to have that stuff sooner rather than later, but it's also great, right? The day of is also great. It's also fine for me. So we're doing that today, and we are continuing on with our live punch needle, right? You all said you wanted a second punch needle to see how Jacob is doing.
I quit.
Can I turn it around for a sec?
Yeah.
You ready to be seen?
Let me put our sponsorship down.
Okay. Yeah, our coffee cup.
I have it between my boobs, which is the best way.
It is always the best way. So you are working away, and you pulled some out recently, but you're back to work now, so you're gonna be working during this episode.
Well, yeah, I was doing this at home.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is terrible.
Let me see,
Pulled out a bunch of stuff.
Well, that always happens, doesn't it? So you kept the blue in that I kind of bullied you into using because you didn't want to use that blue, did you?
Mm-hmm.
So that might it might go.
Oh, for show.
Yeah, for show. It's gonna go.
Should I show the colors I'm using, or
show the colors. This is nice. You're using a nice orange. Oh, look at that. Let me see if that's in focus. You are getting like a bit of directional hooking happening there. Look at that. Can you see the stitches, the peachy stitches? Those are, oh my word, those are like perfection.
Cornrows.
You must be pleased with those, huh?
Can't you tell by my blank eating grin? Well, what about the front?
Oh, I didn't. Did you see the front yet? It's
no.
Good. Oh,
Are you
it's
asking
really
me
good.
or them?
I'm asking both. That's really good. Jacob, that looks really good. You want to show us the colors you're using, and then I'm going to carry back on here and give you some time?
Sure. So I'm going to use this kind of green.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe two of the largest.
Oh, you know what that is? That's, I wonder if anybody remembers the not live episode I did with Jocelyn. She dyed a bunch of yarn using Kool-Aid. That's Kool-Aid yarn.
This one's kind of thick, so I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I like the cut of its
jib. That's interesting. Hold that closer to the camera. That's too close. It's thick.
What a dink.
It's like, it's very...
It is quite thick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it.
Well, it's got a high twist, too.
But
give it a shot.
I might untwist half of it.
Yeah, you could unply it, right? Because it's 2-ply. It's very bulky 2-ply. It's very soft, though.
I'm going to use black for the pattern itself, for the actual browning movement. I feel like a black would be a good...
Yeah, I think I have a better black, because that one's a bit soft and thick, too. See, the ones for punch, and you punchers, go ahead and chime in here. The ones that are, like, in my experience, soft and silky feeling, aren't as great. That's another Kool-Aid yarn. Hey, if you all haven't seen that, those are the two. There was like 6 Kool-Aid yarns that she did. Yeah, if you haven't seen that episode,
also quite thick.
That's, you know what? Joss dyed that one too.
Wow,
different day, not Kool-Aid
stuff.
Yeah,
no, this is like a lighter. I don't know if
I like that one a lot.
It'll
yeah,
tell
that's one
on
of
the
mine.
camera, but it's a lighter,
It's like a weird
purple.
brownie mauve with a little bit of caramel.
And I liked this because it looked kind of rusty.
Oh, that's really
nice.
So
I was going to do it in a couple squares surrounding the pattern because it is like a rust thing and a movement thing. So
it's another softie. We'll see how that goes.
Or I'm going to go crazy and yank it all out again.
Yeah. Well, you might. Andrea says you got this, Jacob.
Thanks, babe.
XX and Linda says, go, Jacob. You're getting a lot of encouragement. So we'll check back in with you in a little while. I can't believe how well you're doing there, though, honestly. I mean, everybody, back me up on this. Everybody pulls stuff out, right? I mean, you're not like...
Don't lie to me.
No, it's true. I pull stuff out all the time. Actually, that's not true. I usually don't. But with punch, I do. I find punch trickier, right? Because I'm always working from
Do as I say, not as I
the
do.
back. Do as I say, not as I do, exactly. I don't like pulling stuff out just because I can't justify that waste of time. And I'm a person who always has to make lemonade out of lemons in any scenario, like in the worst, most impossible scenario. If it has to be worthwhile, or I get too depressed about it, and then
Are you tooting your own lemonade horn?
and I have to set it on fire. A little bit.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. All right, let's see who's here, and then we'll check in with you in a little while. I like the palette though. I like that you have some. He's got some of the mixed, like the Kool-Aid
I'm
ones.
so uneducated with scheming.
Color planning.
Yeah, so I'm very, very glad you think so, because I was like, ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty too.
Were you thinking about like the cools versus the
No, because I
warms?
still don't get it.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. He put together like 18 of the T-shirt packs that just shipped. I brought them straight to the post office and I put a fast shipping on them for all those February classes. And you divided all you. It was like super OCD. You were dividing them between bins that were like cooler color packs and warmer color packs. So that is a fib. I am tooting your warm cold color planning horn. Robin, we are starting off with you because guess what I got in the mail? And I'm going to say hi to everybody on there. I opened it, but I did not go inside of it yet, right? It is a Van Gogh rug. I have to tell you something on that subject in just a moment. What? Why are you looking? Did I say something bad?
No.
Making me nervous. Linda B., good to see you tuning in. Oh, is it snowy? We got a little snow last night. I wonder if you got more than us. Is it still on the ground over there? I'm just wondering what the landscape is.
We got some beautiful rain today.
Yeah, we got some beautiful rain. Linda, great to see you in rainy Massachusetts.
Covered in a blanket of overcast.
It is. It's a bit of a misery day. Mom, great to see you. Oh, you're snowy up there too, Mom. Are you snowing now or were you snowing last night?
Mom's on there.
Mom's on there. No R group today, I guess because of the snow. Ooh.
Hello, Mother.
things are happening in other places. I think we were lucky. Well, I mean, I do like the snow, and we have been waiting to go sledding, so.
Ooh.
Crystal, Velma and you are waving our hellos in Halifax. It's a sick day. Velma, you know what, honey? Teddy and Jocelyn are at home, too. They are both sick. Well, at least Teddy's sick. He is visibly sick. Jocelyn might be faking, but it's very hard to tell. She had no temperature, COVID negative. But, but they are both home. Velma, honey, I hope you get better, you little sweetheart. Find some fun things to do today, right? Andrea, great to see you. Sunny but frosty. Oh, that sounds so nice, though. Dave, good afternoon. Good to see you. Waiting for the sun to appear. Is that a don't hold your breath? But I hope it does appear very soon.
I hope Dave has his coffee.
Dave, do you have your coffee? Jacob's asking. We just went through
He always says it.
He does. He always tells us when he's got his cider and his pizza.
Cider, dude, okay.
Yeah, no, in the evening he has his cider. He has
like
his
a
hard
cider.
cider. Mm-hmm.
I'm a sidey boy.
You are your sidey and sours, right?
That's right.
But we did get some lovely rum the other night, didn't we?
We did.
We should. We'll advertise that on Friday. You know, let me show. I'll show you.
The guy was such a babe.
Yeah, he was a sweetheart. He really was. Over at the liquor store, this guy was here from this brand. Was that the guy's name or that's the brand?
No, his name was Alan.
Alan. He was
Alan.
actually from Scotland.
Yeah.
So super nice, and it was like a nice rum gin something mix or whatever, and I thought it's going to taste like
the story
medicine.
of it was even so cool too.
Let's tell it on Friday because I'm going to bust it out. That will be our official drink on cocktail
Aren't you
nights.
glad I told you to calm down?
I am glad. It was really it was like the elixir of something great. It really was extraordinarily tasty. All right, let's see. All right, and then you got this, Jacob. Sharon, good to see you. You find the best punching yarn has some tooth. So she means is a bit like rough, a bit like rough, not super smooth and silky.
A bit
Rough. I agree with that completely, Sharon. It's like I feel like the ones that are more silky, I'm a bit worried. We're going to give it a shot, but I'm a bit worried about this one because you can see it's like nice and hairy and soft. It's almost like feels like Angora kind of thing. It's really soft. Definitely wool though, real itchy. No tooth to that. So that's going to be a to be continued. It'll be fun to experiment as he goes with some of these because he is getting some good traction.
Well, you're about to have something to teach me in 2 seconds here.
All right. Well, so far he's using the 3-ply Briggs & Little, and he's using it with the Amy Oxford regular punch, which is the larger of the two styles of punch. And you're getting having a lot of success with that. But of course, that is the good formula, like that. It's the right ply with the right needle. So we'll try some of the others and see how it goes, because you might as well try your favorites and hope for the best, right?
So real quick.
Yeah.
Can you come to my side?
Yep. I'm going to come over here. We're going to see what's going on. Let's do some spot checking.
So I thought.
Yeah.
You know what thought did?
What did a thought do?
He thought never mind. How do I? So I'm like about to run out of yarn.
Yep.
For this section that I'm not done with yet.
Oh, I see. This is the end of your thing?
But I have like at least another.
Whoa.
I know.
Well, we might find like something similar. What's this over here? This is Persian wool from like a cool set. You could maybe, that's not that close, is it?
I'd be okay with that if I had to do it.
Well, if you had to do it, so we're considering, I'm going to come over here. We're considering this. It might be that I have this in another color. I have a lot of Persian and crewel yarn, Crewel. So it's much finer and thinner, and it kind of comes in like twos. If you've done any needlepoint with Erica Wilson, right? It comes in kind of twos. But what we could do to make it thicker is we could do maybe 2 strands and punch it at the same. That's probably too thick, actually. You could try it with the sort of 1 strand, which is like a 2-ply. We could try that and see how it goes. That's a to be continued. So yeah, sometimes we talk about what we do when we run out of a color, besides cry ourselves to sleep.
So for now, do I just punch it and leave a little bit of a tail like I did on the start?
Yeah, hold it up again. Yeah, so let me see that. Okay, you want to do that whole side over here. Ah, yeah, that's so close. I mean, another thing that we could do, because we're such sillies,
dinguses,
is we could just bring the border in a hair.
You scoundrel!
Isn't that awful? Oh boy.
What do I do for now?
Well, you just have to work it to the end, then try the Persian wool and move to another color.
Okay, boom. That was it.
Yeah, let us know how you do your problem solve. These are problems that everybody has, right? Running out just before.
It's not just me.
Oh, no, it's definitely not just you. So, yeah, Shannon said she finds the best punching is wool that has tooth. You also have silk noli yarn. We should take a trip to Webb's in Northampton, that big yarn store, because they have all of the brands, all of the kinds, all of the types, and maybe get like a little bit of some of the odd ones and try punching with like quite a few different things. That could be a lot of fun, because sometimes I'm surprised at what does work through the punch. I was hugely surprised the first time I punched with wool strips that they worked as well as they did, because I was fully expecting them to play me by flipping over and doing like cartwheels and tumble-salts, but they didn't. It worked really well, but I still couldn't deal with it because, of course, the strip is X amount long, however long it is, right? And since I use the Sizzix machine, it's not like infinite, right? It's not like yarn is 360 yards, right, all in one cake. So I found it really frustrating for myself hooking with wool, punching with wool, that I kept having to rethread the needle. But I was amazed at how nice and plump each loop came up. I found that quite surprising. So we've got some experimenting to do here. Linda B says, in every application, I frog some, no regrets. Yeah, I mean, you do what you do, right? And only you know the things that you do. And it always comes out beautiful in the end. So all for frogging.
The most, ladies and gentlemen?
What part is it, threading the needle?
No, it's not.
It's not.
In fact, I think I quit, Deanna.
Are you pulling it from the center of the cake, or are you pulling it from the outside? Well, we'll give him a minute to fight with that knot. I was fighting with the clip on my jewelry this morning. Not dissimilar.
Click.
Yeah. Okay. So Andrew says, "Don't worry, I just pulled out half my backing." Oh no, did you? Oh no, for the old thatch. For the old thatch. Oh man. So I didn't have the right color mix. It was glaringly obvious. Are you sure it was glaringly obvious? You are such a clown. You are such a clown.
It helps. I'm telling you. If I could pull a strand and get it out of my way.
He's using his head as a nitty knotty.
Let's go.
Andrea, I'm so sorry. That is frustrating.
Now there's the head strand. You think I'm crazy, but it's actually working.
Well, the head strand works. There's the tip of the day. Wrap it around your head. But not your throat. Not your throat.
Unless you're really over it.
No, even then.
I'm beginning to be.
No, let me do it for you. So, Andrea, your old thatch looked fantastic on Friday, but I get it if it wasn't quite going together color-wise. It can be frustrating. You can always send it to us in between gallery nights so we can look at it together, because sometimes you get so sort of jaded by what you're working on or by a specific knot that life becomes impossible. But it's already pulled out, so you might as well give it a go in another color, right? And I'm sure it's going to be perfect this time. Gayla says, hello to Ribbon Candy Hooking and Needle Punch community. Good to see everybody this morning. Oh, Mom, you said it's snowing now. Oh,
Freedom.
Jinx.
Freedom.
You did it. Stephanie, good to see you. Dave does have his coffee. All is well. That's it. Lots more snow due on Wednesday afternoon, Mom. Oh, really?
Where's she?
She's in Granby, like an hour north of here.
Oh, Atlanta.
Coffee with Enrich, good.
Hour
April,
north
good
will
to
do it.
see you. Marion, just joining in Virginia. Great to see you, joining again. I'm so glad that you're there. Darlene, hello in Tennessee. Oh, I'm thrilled that you're there too. I wonder if there's a lot of buddies having days off today because of the crazy weather. Make the color change. Oh, so Sharon's saying for a tip. That's a great tip, Sharon. Kind of like that antique rug look. She's saying make the color change look deliberate, where you're running out of that apricot. I think that's a good tip. I like that. Because if it looks really close, like maybe that Persian wool, it might really look like we ran out,
You
right?
passed. This was a trick test, and you passed.
That's it. I like that. Thank you. That was a good one. Marion says it's been impossible to find the roll of fiber tape in. Okay, only 8. So you know what I'll do? I'll put it back. I'll put it back in stock in the ribbon candy hooking store because I can get it easily and it ships like so cheap. It ships like at
Oh, it's so light.
yeah, it weighs nothing. It weighs like a feather. I will put that back as soon as the show is over. Because I can get it in the bulk, right? And then we can put it out. Oh my God, it's snowing. It's snowing.
Oh, great.
Oh God, it is snowing.
Uh-huh.
All right. Good morning, Carrie. Karen from the Black Forest, Colorado. You okay?
I just caught a tooth.
You
Or whatever they are. Spiky boy.
All right, Robin. You know what? I was so happy to get this. I was worried because it was supposed to come the day before, and that always gets me going. It's all good. And I read your note that you sent me. Thank you so much. And
I'll read it for the class.
well, I'm going to read this other note for the class.
Just kidding.
So this one, we have weird lighting today. This one says, and this is regarding what you're about to see, Robin's Van Gogh rug. So it says, I thought of this composition one morning while watching my dog Jax do his hourly check for squirrels. I used wool, raffia, what does that say? Raffia, oh man, raffia something yarn. Robin, what does that say? Raffia something yarn. What is wrong with me? Roving, string. Okay, maybe we'll have a clue when we open it. Wool, yarn, and acrylic yarn. Perfect, right? Lots of everything. I changed it many times, but like how it turned out in the end. Let's see. I haven't looked at it yet. All right, wait a minute. There might be a sneeze coming. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, man. Holy mackerel. Holy molies. Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. Look. He's peeking over the edge. Let me try to open it. Oh, that is so...
You win.
I see Jax. Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Let me put this down a little bit because it's too tall for me right now. Oh, my God, Robin. And I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of Jax on your Facebook page. That is absolutely amazing. Look at that. Jax is standing on the chair, looking out at the starry night. And a little bit of the starry night is swirling in.
I love what she used. I'm going to show you. And
yeah, show me.
You can tell them this white for his legs.
Ooh.
Where a dog's tail and back legs are usually shaggier. That's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
I almost swore that was so cool.
Oh, wow. So Jacob almost swore because he was enjoying this so much. I agree. You get overexcited. It is. I like how it's all rough there. Let me bring it into focus. Rough. Isn't that awesome? And I'm just noticing it's also tiled. Wow, that is really, really good. That's not working, is it? Let me do like this. God, that really is good. You love it, huh? Sharon loves it. Everybody loves it. Judy loves it.
Judy.
Wowzers. Darlene. That really is great. Let me bring you into some other parts of it. Lots of different materials there. Oh, I loved. You see how there's swirls on the yellow wall as well? This is a great color plan, isn't it? I mean, we know that the yellow and blue are great together. Those are the Van Gogh colors, and they're complementary colors. But I like the shade of red, and I like how it's playing off of Jax's like back, right? Because that's a very warm color too. I also like the bar that's going around, like that's shaping out the house. It's like it's sort of skeletal lines of the house and the windows looking out at the starry night. It gives really good structure to this piece. Gosh, this is really, really good. I mean, they are all lovely. This is extraordinary. I love it. Should we look at the back? The back is always good. Hooked and designed by Robin LaForest, and it says all the stuff about the challenge. This has been a great challenge, hasn't it? And I'm only showing the back because it's exquisite, right? People, maybe I shouldn't show backs, but this back is exquisite. My backs don't look like that. I promise you. Never. Robin, that is really, really astonishingly great. Really, really great. Oh, there's even more than one color in the floor, too. See how there's the rust and then there's the kind of sangria roving? Isn't that something? Yeah, give it a go, Stephanie. Give it a go. It'll come out great. I'm coming back to you here. Let me put this away for now. So, I have some news to tell you regarding Van Gogh. That's making me a little bit nervous, but don't let it make you nervous because I'm going to figure this out. So, I was wondering why I hadn't heard from the woman because obviously the Van Gogh show is coming up on Saturday with the talk and all that stuff. Well, Tammy, it is beautiful, isn't it? Good to see you. So I ended up calling instead of emailing because I was not having any joy with trying to reach her in other ways, my contact person. It turns out that the Hartford Library is at this moment closed because they have had like colossal water damage. So as soon as I just found this out right before the show, which maybe explains some of the frantic energy happening here. So I'm going to call her as soon as we are done with the show and figure out what she wants to do. And since so many of you have rugs in the show, I want to tell you two things. Well, I want to tell you three things. I am going to figure this out with the Public Library in Hartford, number one. Number two, there are lots of other possibilities, right? Because when we started this challenge, we were a smaller group. We have like ballooned up. We are very visible, and a lot of people know that I'm here, that you're there, that we have this thing going on. So we have lots of choices. And I also wanted to reiterate that either Jane or I will be in touch fairly soon, not regarding this part of it, right? Because I want to display them like immediately right here. And I'm still figuring out how it's going to work with the library. But I'd also like to put them into the Pierre Sylvain show that I'm doing with him in April, if that is okay with you. So we will also be contacting you for that as a second date in this immediate area. But I am going to solve the problem. The only reason I'm anxious about it is because if they offer me on the phone this afternoon, if they offer me using one of the branch libraries to do this, I'm not sure that it wouldn't make more sense. I mean, I don't want to be a prima donna or a holdout, but the reason I was happy with the Hartford Public Library, which is now, it sounds like it's underwater, was because it's so central, and I was really counting on the volume of people walking by, popping in. In a branch library, you don't have that. So this is something I'm thinking through, and don't be disappointed because I promise you I will figure this out, and it will be exactly what it was going to be or better.
It's just a fun little obstacle.
It is a little bit of a hurdle. It's one of these sort of unforeseen pieces of stupidness, but I will figure it out. So it's causing some stress on my end, but just know that these are being displayed. We are getting them up soon. We have lots of options at this point. I'd love to make it work with them, but I don't want to sort of, I want to make it worth our while too, because I feel like it's a big deal. We have a lot of rugs and they are all glorious. You just saw Robin's, they are all glorious. And I want them to be celebrated properly, right? So maybe I am a bit of a holdout. We'll see what happens, Robin. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Little old Jax, huh? That is so cute. So okay, so that's a to be continued. I do want to tell you before we move into more content, I do want to tell you it is snowing hard out there.
No, it's not. Don't say that.
It is.
No,
It is.
No.
It's like the beginning of an Agatha Christie, like the Mousetrap, where they get snowed in and there's a killer there. Better not be you. Better not be you.
How much more you want me to punch, Deanna? You want to be killed?
Oh, he makes me laugh so hard when we're having such stressful times. Mom says Simsbury or Avon libraries devote a lot of energy and that's a good idea, Mom. Those are right there too, and those are like very sort of high end.
My bad. I forgot you were here.
He's not really going to kill me, I don't think. Just kidding. We shouldn't even joke about that. The video is going to get pulled. Don't say stuff like that. We're going to get in trouble.
It's after the first 3 minutes.
True. So I also wanted to tell you Wednesday is the day that we are going to be in New Canaan, which is a different town in Connecticut, doing a talk, The Romance of Hooked Rugs. And this is the pattern that we have worked out. We're going to be dying for this afternoon. It was a really large rug. I'll make a post about this in our Facebook group, which is Rug Cooking and Punch Needle Club. But We'll be dying. You got
Deanna,
that, huh?
stop. You're going to get us
I
demonetized.
know. I mean, dying with an E. Dying with an E.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that on Wednesday. So I won't be running. I won't be running coffee time on Wednesday. But you know what we should do, Jacob, is you should stream some of that or record some of the talk that I do, so that we do have a show on Wednesday. I think I'm there at 1. So I will figure it out, and I'll post something in our Facebook group, which again is Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. We'll probably do something live on either YouTube and or Facebook that you're recording while I'm talking, just so we have some content for Wednesday. Yes. And then on Friday, I'm supposed to be going to that show, right? The Felton Girl, right? Remember I told you about that a couple of times, I think. That's a really important rug show around here. So to be continued, whether you subscribe on YouTube or you're in our Facebook group, to be continued. It's a crazy week for us with teaching. We're supposed to have the Hartford thing, the New Canaan thing, and then the rug show on Friday. So the next few days are chock full. But we will bring you something live on Wednesday. And I probably will run a live show this week on Sunday, just because of the thing on Friday. But be looking out for that, because we're making decisions as we go. The rug that I will be teaching at the New Canaan Historical Society, they have one hooked rug that is absolutely beautiful. I'll make a post in our Facebook group about it, but it is large. It is large and it is complicated. So I think I showed you the drawing, but Jacob made this version of it, which is about a third, less than a third of the size of the whole thing. And it looks tricky, but it's the flowers. But we're going to handle the flowers like Padula type flowers, and it is a stripy vase. It's a solid background, and people are going to, if they want to, hook the words or not. But I will be teaching this for a couple of hours minimum, or however long it's going to take. I think there's 10 people signed up for it right now. However long it's going to take for everybody to get that confidence going, so that they go home with the piece. And I know that they're going to continue working on it, because it's not a super easy and accessible piece, right? It's not exactly a beginner piece, but we're going to make it into a beginner's piece. And it is the rug that exists in that house. So that's the reason why we're trying to hammer a square peg into a circle hole and use that design. Speaking of great designs, let's look at our content that we didn't get to on Friday night cocktail night, because we had a chock full episode, not just of beautiful rugs and projects that people were working on, but remember there were some great ideas in there, like Ann Polizzo's traveling, she's taking a trip and she's traveling with her noodles, and she wanted to keep them nice and safe and organized, and she put them between 2 pieces of the press and seal stuff, right? Oh, you need some scissors right here. I wildly see hands going like this over the top of the camera. So there were lots of things in there that were great ideas and tips as well, but we didn't get to all of it. So let me come over here, come with me, and let's see where we left off on Friday night. Oh, Robin. Okay, that was one of your great photos. Let me see if that was the first. Okay. Oh, that was Ryan's house. Remember Ryan's house, that he used all of the materials. This is the last one I think we looked at. He used all the materials from the advent calendar, the ribbon candy hooking advent calendar. So that was the last one we looked at. And Robin, that brought us to your excellent post. So let me give you some backstory here. In our Facebook group, people are posting all the time amazing things, inspiring, about punch, about rug making, about hooking, about everything. Robin posted some patterns that she had acquired. Robin, did you say you got them at like an antique store or something like that? Or you found them online. I think you found them online. But these are the kinds of patterns that we would see coming out of, for example, the not too early 1900s. I would say maybe 1920s, 1930s, possibly 1940s. And I just immediately got stomach cramps when I saw them, because they were so good. And you hardly ever find a great colored pattern, right? I search for them too. I hardly ever find them. Let's look at the ones that Robin found. They are exquisite. So this is like a cockatoo print, and I'm going to bring you closer into it too. Just give me a second to change my glasses. My eyes is going crazy. My glasses. All right, so this is called cockatoo, and I'll bring it in closer to you, but my word, I just thought that this was an extraordinary pattern. Robin, when I bring it in, I can't remember if this is the one that you don't know who the designer is, right? Oh, that's right. Robin says she got them on eBay and Poshmark, of all places. That is surprising. Is it impertinent to ask if the one on Poshmark was really expensive? I hope that's not an impertinent question because normally we see these colored patterns on burlap. It really varies. But typically I see them around the 20s, 30s, that kind of price point. Sometimes you see them up in the 40s, 50s, and sometimes you see them for like 100. And unless it's like an Edward Sands Frost, that's obviously the wrong price. But they are collectible. They are fun. I don't think they're hugely collectible. Robin collects them. I collect them. I bet a few of us do. What I really like about them is that they represent a moment in rug hooking history or rug making history. Because if you think about our buddy Ryan in our Facebook group, he punches the burlap of these vintage patterns, right? He likes the more 1970s era patterns, but he punches right into that backing, and sometimes he splits it and he has to repair it, and he tells us all about that in the Facebook group. But he does not transfer it to like pull the pattern off to put it on a more stable background. He punches right into it. So I shouldn't say rug hooking because you could finish this in a variety of ways, especially if you're Karen, right? Karen, you might be latch hooking this. You are so nutty with all of the finishes that you do right into the traditional rug hooking backings. It's always like an incredible surprise to me what you can manage. So rug making. Let's switch to rug making. And you paid $40 or something for the cockatoo. I think that's a really good price for this one because many of these kinds of patterns we see them only partially colored. The coloring is a cue, right? Because what they're doing, and we're looking for who the maker is on this particular design, if anybody knows. What they're trying to do with all of these patterns from like the early to middle 20th century is they want to sell you the pattern separately from the yarn. And they want you to buy the yarn that is being suggested in the pattern, right? Because they want you to feel like if you don't also buy the yarn, that you don't have a chance of completing the rug in a way that it would look, attractive and worthwhile. So this was a good marketing ploy because they would sell the things separately, and it would be up to you to figure out what you needed. So, Robin, this makes me want to compare this to other rugs. I have some behind me, so I'll do that as we sort of progress. But all we know about this is that it's called Cockatoo Rug number 3072. My guess would still be Aunt Lydia for this just because of the age. But when I'm looking at it close up, it doesn't look like the kind of paint that you find on the Aunt Lydia brand, which is much more flat, opaque, and kind of like thick. This looks really thin, and it has a bit of a sheen to it. Interesting. Would you punch that, Karen? Would you do all punching, or would you do some of your latching and stuff onto it too, or some of your Waldoboro? I bet you would do a bunch of things because it has so much play. All of the different components. It's so, the original price was $3 and it went on sale at Marshall Field for $2.40. Don't you wish you were there? Oh, I do. Let's come back here for a second. I'm thinking about Karen now and what she would do with this. You would be punching it. I just think I want to come back to the first design. I think it's an extraordinary design. It has that kind of Jacobean look, right, with all of these whimsical plants. A little bit of Dr. Seuss, a little bit of Pearl McGowan, and at the bottom, there's kind of a like futuristic, ahead of its time set of circles that I'm not sure what they're representing other than when you look at Jacobean art and needlework. You sometimes do get those little rounded hills that are patterned out. You usually get them in like a quilt pattern, like a checkerboard pattern. And here we're seeing them in concentric circles with kind of spiky edges like suns. So really different. Gretty says, I love the colors. I do too. I do too. There's a lot of yellow in here. There's a lot of blue. And there's a lot of orange and green. This is a very odd color palette. Nice and bright, rounded corners, and I guess the background is up for grabs. That makes me wonder whether the idea was to not punch the background. And if that's the case, then I would place this pattern more like 1960s. Because as soon as we hit the 1960s, at least in ladies' magazines of that time and craft magazines, we start to see people either doing needlepoint, punch, rug hooking into the same backing, right? Erica Wilson could also deal with the burlap and make it work. But we're seeing like the natural background. You see that a lot when you go to antique stores and things. I'll have to find some examples of it, but you see that the motif is picked out, but that the background, the foundation fabric that you're working on is not. That's a very 60s, 70s thing. And if that's the case, I'd put this a bit later. So big to be
Sorry, I didn't do
continued.
that.
That's okay. As long as you're not getting frustrated.
A little tiny bit.
To be continued. Yeah, and if you are watching this later and you have an idea for Robin, please let us know. I think we're all going to be curious about who the maker was on that. I think we all kind of fell in love with that a little bit. Karen, you're right. Velvet would be amazing hooked into that. The tail might get some sparkle yarn. Oh, the tail deserves some sparkles. That was an extraordinary pattern. In an odd shape. Remember, it had the rounded corners. Now, this one, we're gonna pull into this one a little bit more. It looks like it's called torch lily. Another odd shape, very irregular shape. Of course, you could box it out and have a rectangular rug. A lot of people did do that. But this, to me, I like the cockatoo a lot. I like this one even better, I think. I love the way this almost sort of, for lack of a better word, and pardon the word, oriental frame, right? It looks like a bit of a lacquer and black frame is going in and out, and the leaves behind it are doing this wild sweep. Really, I mean, it does remind me of kind of like Japanese woodcuts, and these big fat flowers that are, none of them are kind of stagnant. They look like they're in kind of the breeze. They're all lulling to one side or the other. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4 colors of yellow, going from like a really, really intense dark honey mustard to more of a sunshine, to more of a marigold, to more of like a butter color. So that progression is great, and I think super attractive to us as rug hookers, because we love a good lamb's tongue, we love some scalloping, and this is really reminiscent of that kind of design, isn't it? And the leaves, right? 2 colors on the leaves, really, really extraordinary. Let's come in a little bit closer to this one. Okay, so Senrab, Horace, that must be the type. What could that be, the brand? I've never seen that before. This is completely new to me. I love the printing on it too. I mean, the paint is really lovely. Definitely torch lily, and it sold for $2.50. How clear everything was marked then. Don't you find yourself constantly when you're shopping having no idea what the price is at all within like a mile, and having to ask people constantly what the prices are? I love how things were just printed right on there. So number 03417, Torch Lily. Let me see if I have one more of this. I love this one, Robin. This is my fave, I think, of the bunch. It's so, oh, this is from a different department store, M.T. Garvin and Company in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I have not heard of that department store. And you know how up I am on my department stores, even the defunct ones.
Nerd.
I am a super department store nerd. That is really cool. This is another kind of mystery. I guess that was the brand. I'm going to have to Google that later. Sun Rob Haras rug. Unless, yeah, yeah, super tongue twister. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Couldn't even do it.
Not me. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That is really, really good. Oh, wait a minute. Come back. Okay, so this is a Susan Burr pattern. That one I can handle. We'll look at the bottom of it closer up. I love this one as well. I really love this one. Robin, I feel like you did so well with all 3 of these patterns because, as I was saying before, and I'll show you some examples, usually when we see this era of color printed rug to color QU, we are only seeing it partially colored. But you have got 3 examples that are colored throughout, which is really cool. Now, this one also has a lot of background showing, and they often do, right? So that doesn't mean anything. I would think that this is a 1930s pattern, possibly 1940s. It has a nice rug hooking feel to it, right? It's got the alternating checkerboard, which we always love. Bit of a Baltimore album quilt feel to it, too. Those Jacobean flowers, again, which were so popular in the middle of the 20th century. I love the colors on this rug as well. It looks like the leaves are more kind of like an olive drab, with maybe a black or a dark green center. But then the other colors, super bright, super cheery, yellow, purple, sky blue, kind of a cherry red, really cheerful. We see so much cherry red in the 1940s, right? That is like the signature color of the time. Let's look at this rug a little bit closer up. So this is Susan Burr rug number 3034. Really, really pretty. I'm looking at the lines, and I'm wondering if those are pre-printed lines. Because I know that sometimes when you get commercial patterns, they are not perfectly squared, and if they're not squared, you really get yourself into some big trouble, particularly if you're a new hooker and you're just hooking them very literally, because you really have to stick with the grain, with straight lines and right angles and all that. It will come out the best, and it will be the easiest to work it. So I'm wondering, it looks like it is right on the grain here, which makes me wonder if this was a 2-part process. I don't know anything about the printing process of rugs from this era. I would love to learn something about them. Oh, so remember when I said, let's hold on that theme for a second. I'm going to stand up because I want to show you some stuff over here. Let me do this a little bit. So we're in the studio in a big old mess today. Judy says they almost look like they're hand painted. I agree, Judy. They really do. And that the lines that I was looking at, they weren't exactly what they were even in terms of being gridded, but it was like light, dark, light. I mean, it looked like someone was taking a pen to them. So interesting. I don't know how one would find out more about how patterns from that era were printed. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, though. I'll tell you that's something that keeps popping into my mind, and I just haven't recently had the time. But it is something I want to learn about. And I know that a lot of these companies like Susan Burr and Aunt Lydia, I don't know about them specifically off the top of my head. I did a lot of research on this subject for the first book that I wrote that hopefully is coming out this spring. But I can't remember. I can't remember what I wrote off the top of my head. That was like a year ago, and it was such an intense time. But I did a lot of research at that time, not on that exact thing. But what I do remember is learning that some of those early to middle 20th century companies that did all kinds of crafts, right? Needlepoint, rugs, different kinds of rug making, including rug hooking. They were often and usually bought up by larger umbrella companies. I know there was a big one in Canada. I know there was an English one that bought up a lot of American companies. And it's interesting to know, oh, wow. I'm coming back over there in a minute. He's making some good progress. And that kind of convolutes things because those companies became absorbed into the larger companies. And sometimes then the larger companies, like I want to say American Thread, the American Thread Company, something like that. Sometimes the smaller companies got absorbed and then were sort of no more.
Does that make you sad?
It does make me super sad because they had unique products. And sometimes the whole kind of thrust of the company in general changed gears and you lost all of that kind of decorative work and kits and patterns and all that stuff.
Can
But
you quickly just pass me a Sharpie?
yeah, sure. Make sure there's ink in it.
Thank you very much.
I found a great pattern the other day when I was out antiquing a couple of weeks ago. I found this one. I don't think it's as pretty as yours, Robin, but I really like it. So let me show it to you because I haven't had a chance to show it to you yet. Now, let me see. It is on burlap, of course. This cost $10, so there was no way I was leaving it. It was at an antique store in the Berkshires, I think in Lenox, and it was hiding in a stall, multi-dealer, hiding in a stall with a lot of apparel, right? Because textiles are good stalls to check out in detail. And there was like a big hanging rack of vintage clothing, and underneath it there were some like big crocheted Afghans and stuff, granny square type stuff, and this was underneath all of it. So I was glad that I was on my hands and knees in the dirt because it was well worth it. I might have to bring you back even, you know what, let me try this. Sorry, my face is right up there. My snout is right up there. I'm going to go right across the room.
Ooh.
Oh, you probably can't. No, that doesn't work because the light's behind me. Oh, technical. It is pretty, isn't it? It looks like cattails, or as Jane would say, bulrushes. I'm going to show it to you in parts then. So it's the same top and bottom. Let me just scroll up like this. I'm going to do a Jacob here.
And?
Look.
Take a page out of my book.
Take a page out of your book. So it's the same top and bottom. But what I really liked was the colors and the water lily. And I always love a good cattail, right? So let me see if I can figure out, and it's real pink. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of pink in that lily. The monitor is showing up real bright, and it's such a dull day. But there's a lot of pink shadowed in right there. And a lot of the bare background, too. So now I'm second guessing what I said about Robin's rug, because it could be that it is an earlier piece and that you were meant to do the background. And maybe the person who you were consulting, right, in a department store where they had a craft section, that in and of itself is amazing, right? Because most department stores at that time, I promise you I'm not starting, they had a rug department that were like finished rugs. They had an antiques department in the department store. And they would have a craft department where people would be demonstrating stuff, and they would have things like this. And I suppose you would bring something like this or one of Robin's rugs, better examples, to the lady or man, and that person would say, well, these are the colors that you need, right? And you would go along with it because you wouldn't know any better.
That's not how he'd say it.
No, that's not exactly how he'd say it.
That's just not funny.
That's not funny. But anyway, there's no information. Oh, yes, there is. Wait a minute. It's Dritz. All right. So I didn't even think of Dritz as one of the players here. There's our info right there. Dritz pattern number 5717. Isn't that lovely, though? I wish you could see the colors better. And you know what I wanted to say when we were looking at robins? I think for me, the reason I like to collect these is because I'm looking forward to the day when Jacob has time and he builds a bunch of frames that I can stretch these on. And in one of our areas, we can just have a whole collection of these beautiful early to middle 20th century burlap masterpieces, right? That will be a good day.
Oh, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, well, not until we're done with the other 100 things first.
Yeah.
So that was one. And then I wanted to show you, I don't know if I ever showed you this. This is the Blue Nose Schooner. So this is one of the two most popular patterns from Garrett Blue Nose. This is actually number 1 and the Three Bears is number 2.
3 moles?
Yeah, the 3 moles. Crystal, did you tell Vera about the 3 moles, that joke that night? I bet she'd think that was really funny. So pretty though, right? So I probably won't work this one. I consider this to be like a historic pattern. So I probably won't work that one because I don't want it to rip, and I do want to stretch it or frame it or have it there because that is like, yeah, historic. This is a good example of a pattern that is only partially colored. So this is what we normally see, right? Just enough of a I thought it was so pretty though. I'll give you all the details on this. So just the corner, I think, and wait a minute. This is actually a great technique. The corner and this just going to the middle. So you knew exactly what you needed, wow, to do. Really bright colors.
Dina, what time are we at?
We are at 10 of, so I got to stop running my mouth.
Already?
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
I know. Look, you know what I love about this pattern? The summer flowers and the fall leaves. I'm just noticing that thistle. So this pattern is by, it's a Blue Nose pattern. So yeah, I love the way that Blue Nose prints. I love the colors, that super intense color. So this is called, what says, use the famous Blue Nose rug hooker. Now that, don't mind me, that's the shuttle hook. So we'll have to do another live episode using that thing. Maybe we can put Jacob on that thing. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just got to look. I can do it myself. I can definitely do it myself. So you're supposed to use the Blue Nose hooker. Now, would it make any difference if you use the Susan Burr shuttle punch? Of course not. They just wanted to sell you the Blue Nose hooker. And of course, this is Canada, and Susan Burr wasn't. So another lovely Blue Nose pattern. Darlene says, can you put those patterns on that fiber tape? You can. And, see, with stuff like this, I wouldn't trace it directly on because I want to keep the original and it's all colored. So I do have a video that I did on the Ribbon Candy Hooking channel where what I did was I took an old pattern, and I think it was a Blue Nose pattern. I took a Blue Nose pattern, burlap, I put it down on the table. This is in a nutshell. I took a piece of plexiglass from like, a poster, like a big poster. I placed it over because I don't want to put the fiber tape directly onto the pattern because while I trace it with the Sharpie, it'll bleed all over the original, and then you've lost it. So I put the plexiglass down, and I put the fiber tape on top of the plexiglass. And if the plexiglass isn't big enough, I erase the Sharpie mark. The best way to erase the Sharpie mark, and I figured this out in the video, you can do like rubbing alcohol and stuff like that, but even better, Sharpie marker on plexiglass, tracing out your pattern, and then you want to move it. So you need to clear the plexiglass, right? Get a dry erase marker in any color, draw over your lines, and then use like the eraser part of the marker or any chalkboard eraser to erase it. It comes out better than anything. And then you can replace it, right? Just like you're printing something like wallpaper. You overlap it a little bit so you can match your lines. But that's the best way to keep that's one way to keep your precious original pattern all colorful and all pristine, but still peel the design off of it so you can be practical and actually hook it, right?
Yeah, certainly be careful with when you're using fiber tape because it will bleed. You will get
like
marker
crazy.
stains.
Yeah, he's right.
And if it's something that you're quite fond of, I would hate to see you upset and ruin it because you just weren't aware,
It would be awful,
And
especially if
that's
it
on
was a
our
nice old
shoulders, too,
thing.
because we are the
That's
she
right.
is the teacher.
No, you're right. It is on our shoulders to give good information about stuff like that. Sharpies bleed like crazy. Even we use the red industrial ones, like the one I just handed Jacob was one of these guys. Right, so these are supposed to be the best ones for like not bleeding and for permanence. but they still bleed. They bleed all over the fiber tape. They're still better.
Yeah, it's gonna bleed either way.
It's going to bleed like crazy. So you want to be so careful with those original patterns because they are a part of history, and they're so lovely. So I had a couple more. I'll show you real fast, and then we'll check in with Jacob. This is another one that, I mean, it's not much going on here, but I must have found it for somewhere that wasn't, expensive at all, and I had to have it apparently. Blue nose hooked rug. So another blue nose. And this one color cues you this way. See, it says the color black on it. You are going great guns.
I'm leaving a lot of holidays.
Well, holidays are all right. Oh, this is my favorite one. I'm sure I showed you this before. This is my absolute fave. Jacob, I don't think you saw this one. This one is really good.
I didn't see that.
Oh, there's three there. There's three there. We might run over it here. I love this one. Let me see how close we are.
I've seen that.
You've seen that one?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Oh, I love it too. Super, super, super pretty. I think I bought that online. I do not like using the rug hooking buy and sell page. I do not like it. But I think I had to have it, and I think I caved. I'm big on principles with things that I don't really like. This is the one that I traced out, the maple sugaring one. I think this is another blue nose. The reason I have so many blue noses is because they're so beautiful. Like the painting on them is beautiful. And I guess maybe maybe my brain hasn't caught up with my imagination, but I think what I might be doing is hoarding them to like create some kind of exhibit or something, or like finite collection. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me show you two more. Oh my word, I forgot about these. Now, okay, Crystal.
Crystal, are you doing okay?
So this is the second most popular of all time Garrett Blue Nose pattern, and this is the Three Bears. I can't tell if I'm in focus because there's a piece of burlap in front of my face, but hopefully I am. This is a super, super beloved pattern. That is one that I would not hook it ever. I'm keeping that to, oh God, that's so good. The colors on it are so cute. Absolutely love that. There's lots of different versions of the Three Bears, right? So if you have one that's different, it doesn't mean that either of ours is like a fake, right? There's different versions as the years go by. This one I really liked. This is from the Centennial Canadian Confederation. And I remember I researched that at the time, another Garrett Blue Nose, but I just absolutely loved the design. It reminds me, like my dad was a Mason, I always tell you that. And it reminds me kind of, it's not obviously that, but it has that feeling of like a fraternal organization, and I really like that about it. I love the colors. I like the Canada connection, and I like that it was kind of a limited rug. And I feel like somebody important in the Garrett family designed this one. It was the last one. That's what it was. Oh, I forget. I know I said it on an earlier episode, but yeah, it was the last one that this person designed. I'm not sure if it was the last one of all. But that is on a previous episode. I might have put that into the book too. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the Garrett Blue Nose book that came out. And I need to do an episode on that coming up very soon too. But that probably says in there, I bought it because it was an important pattern. And I love it too, but it was important in terms of history. So, oh my God, Darlene, you love the Three Bears. Was that the one, or the checkerboard one that you loved? I love all of them. I think they're all great. I'm just looking at my Van Gogh behind me here, and I haven't got any more punching done. Should we come see what you're doing over there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, come on, you're doing great. What a baby. All right, so I'm going to come around your shoulder and see what you're up to, but not until I find your coffee.
Oh, what a
novel idea, huh? Wow, look at you go. Well, let's hold it up this way.
Judo chops.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm going to have to get back there. This is crazy.
It's frustrating the hell out of me.
Well, I mean, it's bound to, isn't it?
I do, like stuff like this is kind of good to talk about. Like, I don't know where, like you can see here, like I have this black line that has nothing in it. And that's hard for me to like differentiate. Like, am I like do I split these black lines in half? Like, do I give half of the black line the blue and the other half of the black line the green, or
right.
Whatever the case may be?
Can we cut? Yeah, let's cut this.
Yeah, you can do it because it's the worst part of this to me.
All right, so I'm just going to hold
it
down.
So you're doing okay. So I was inherently right to hold this down on that part.
Because otherwise, you're just going to pull up the entire whatever.
Oh, I know.
I want to bring the camera so that my coffee. So that sorry, that was me. so that they can see exactly what we're talking about. And I'm going to try not to make you seasick. So you were just talking about, I want to come in closer too. Can you hold it up this way?
Sure.
And let's look at the back first. So,
My little cornrows.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really good. You must
Is it
be.
really?
It is.
Or are you just being in?
Turn it around. Let's see if you have any holidays.
Oh, for sure I do. The purples I have
Here, hold
tons.
it up again. Sorry, I'm all bossy today.
Quite. Oh, today?
No, that looks great. I'm looking at the right side of it,
Stage left?
Yeah, well, for me, stage right. For you, stage left. Good one. No, that doesn't have any issues at all. That colorful Kool-Aid one has no issues, and I'm looking at the green one right to our left of it. No issues at all. You have some strong directional hooking happening.
What do you
I
mean?
do see a holiday right here.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean directionally?
Well, I mean, you got them going in what you're calling cornrows, right? It's real strong as opposed to this one, which doesn't, right? There's a
What do
few
you mean?
little holidays in there, but you
Yeah.
know with those little holidays, before we get like all panicked about that, which we don't, I would first try to pull it up with a rug hook or a crochet hook. It's looking so good.
Aren't you proud of me, Mom?
I am super proud of you. I am super proud of you. What do you all think of this?
I can't hear you. They must hate me.
No, let me check what they're writing. All right, let's see. Great job. Yep. Robin says great job. It is a great job. Can I hold it up for a minute?
Can you ever?
Let me do that. All right.
Take a
So
little fiber from it.
I like that one.
You've done good, Jacob.
You done good. So this is looking amazing, right? This is that multi one, right? This is one of the, you got a lot of great jobs.
I'm at a very interesting place here where I'm excited to see how I'm gonna do that because
Oh yeah. So he's saying like he's got the same directional thing happening here, and it's looking so good. It's like if it ain't broke, you're not going to fix it. But you do have to come around here, and I'm wondering if you are going to go directionally like this to fill in that part too.
I was thinking that I would start from here.
Yeah.
And I would go this way, and I would up here, and then
Yeah.
kind of do it like a
That's going to be
like a spiral,
yeah.
which might be hard.
No, I think you got it. Wow, that was super
The
funny.
slowest fall I've
That
ever
is-
done.
If that table hadn't stopped you, you'd still be falling.
Wish we had that. Yeah.
All right, and then this part over here is great too. So this is the one that we were running
That might
out
be
of,
the
and
one I'm most proud of right now.
this one
Yeah, as far as just like directionally, like they're really close together, like in a really perfect way. I mean,
really
not
good.
perfect.
And this is the one that Sharon said, you know, when you run out, maybe make it look on purpose.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip it over in just a second. And this is the first part that you started last week, right? So that does look different. There's
The blue that
nothing
was
wrong with
forced
it.
upon me.
But you were not doing anything directional, and then you got over here, and you did that today, and that's more of your, like, really, lots of up and down. See, this is a good piece. This is Brownian Movement. This is an Alice Butler piece that's at Ribbon Candy Hooking. It's in
One
the
of
store.
my favorites
Mm.
of all. I
Me too.
just like the concept of that is so cool.
It's so cool. It's a great piece to start with. It looks super, super, super abstract. So, yeah, so this one over here,
I
right,
like the split too.
this one has a few little holidays, but we're going to try to pull them through. I like this split, too. That's very tidy, very crisp. Yeah, that's looking good.
I'm
That's
glad.
looking real
Thank you
good.
guys for the support, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It looks great. It looks great. Yep. Nice. I can't believe how fast you're going and how well it's coming out, right?
I'm having a naughty cigarette.
Karen loves your color choice. He's
I
having a
love
naughty
you,
cigarette.
Karen.
We are trying to get him to stop smoking. So
Oh,
you gotta,
stop that.
you gotta.
Having a naughty. Oh,
One munchkin left. It's all you.
No, I won't do it.
I love his. I don't want it. My pants are gonna explode. I love the color choices too. But you are pulling out the turquoise blue. He's a little bit taller than
like
me.
Andre.
I know, you're a giant. So, all right, well, we should log off for today. Are you pulling out the blue? Because, wait a
You
minute.
have to show. I just
I
don't want
feel like it looks really good with the rest of it. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well,
Well,
because I was thinking that those
the
Small
browns.
holidays disappear when the thingy thing. I wanted to do those purples and those greens and even the oranges are very Halloween to me. So I wanted to
Is that
keep,
good?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I was going to say, what's wrong with that?
No, nothing at all. But I want to pull that blue because it
I
looks out of place
see.
with the colors that I've picked.
Should we pull it right
Even
now?
stuff like these are autumn leaves and.
Oh, I get it. So he's doing you're doing a warm palette. I get it. No, that makes a lot of sense to me now. Because with a more Halloween-y palette,
Man.
right? I'm sorry.
I
Like the
caved my
purple, the
skull in with
green,
my own
the
pattern.
oranges, right? I can
I'm
see
sure-
why you would want that to go and keep it more in autumn colors.
I'm having a time. I won't say it's a hard time, but trying to piece, like, you can see I wrote like a G here for green, a P up here for purple,
Okay.
because I want a lot of it to be these two primarily, because they
I mean, you don't have an unlimited supply of this one.
oh, don't I know?
No, you have like a half a cake left.
I know.
But we'll see. You probably have 100 yards left at the most.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not bad at it because it's not something I've done before, but I'm new to planning stuff out like that.
Yeah.
I mean, case in point.
You know, I still do like the blue, but I get what you're saying about the Halloween thing, and once that's like the magic word for me. Once you say
Gotta
Halloween,
have it her way.
No, we're gonna do it your way. We're definitely
No,
gonna do it your way. What
I'm
about?
I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with
I
that?
want to just do a solid black to
But
really
what are you
pull your
gonna
eye
do
into
about
it.
when it goes over itself, like a little pipe? Like, how are you gonna show that?
Maybe a lighter black
just
underneath.
Just
Do you follow me?
yeah, but doesn't it make more sense to have the darker black underneath? Like it's the shadow of it under? I mean, it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't thought of that yet.
This kind of came up last night in the book of
My
Kells
eyes are all
class.
watery. You're making me cry.
Oh, don't fry. Well, it's going to be beautiful. And there's only this one time that it intersects that even becomes a conversation.
Yeah, damn you, Alice Butler.
Well, no, it's Vic who designed them, Vic Hugo. No, it's good. It's great. It's a great design. And I mean, I just would hate for you to lose that.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know?
like that little part too.
Because it's fine as a flat design, but that is a thing, isn't it?
Sharpie didn't give me a rough time.
All right, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Camera adds 10 pounds.
You're telling me.
Camera adds.
We'll have to
me
see
needing
how
a
it
haircut.
goes. You just got a haircut.
Fucking disheveled.
All right, let's say goodbye. We're just being stupid now. So Sharon
They
says,
love that, though.
I find small holidays disappear. Yeah, well, this is so far all
What does
wool.
that mean?
Well, like she means that when you block it at the end, like you steam it, so when you have your finished piece,
You can't use the word you're defining in
Okay.
the definition. Steaming, when you're steaming the piece.
No, when at the end, right? If this is all wool and we don't have synthetics in here that are gonna melt,
You
put like a
hit it with
little
iron.
damp face cloth over the surface of all of it when it's done, right? And you put the iron on super high and you steam the hell out of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it really mellows the.
Does that help,
loops.
like, kind of
Mm-hmm.
pull the piece
Yeah.
together? Because I've been
helps a
noticing
lot.
when I'm hooking and I don't realize that I'm like running out of space,
Yep.
and it pulls the loop back up, and I go, "Grr!"
Mm.
I'm noticing that. Oh no!
What?
I lost my whole train of thought.
Oh no! You notice that you pull out one before it or behind it or
Yeah.
in front of it or the
something.
side of it.
Oh, that
Yeah.
that really like f's up the holes. And I
Yes,
can't.
yes.
They're just open. They like you could throw a cat through them. So it's like I'm
You
trying
do.
to
So
find a way
that's
to
the
like
moment.
pull them back down.
Yeah, that's the moment where you have to
Yeah.
go into a hole that's slightly next to it. And that's the great thing about monk's cloth over other backings is that it has that weave and you have other little threads you can get into, right?
So when you iron it, I'm sure that helps
Absolutely.
pull, like kind of cause that tension to the piece to like cement everything. To,
Absolutely.
Like, to make it a family.
It does. It just mellows the whole thing out, makes it look just more professional. You only want to block it with steam, right? Steam/block it. You only want to do that if you want your piece to be like really even pile. If you've got a crazy kind of Dion Fitzpatrick piece going that has like lots of different height, you do not want to block it. Because wool has a great memory, unlike other fibers, even cotton. And while you could block
Wool
cotton,
never
it'll
forgets.
bounce back. Wool never forgets. It's the
It's like an
elephant
elephant.
of the fibers.
This is
Jinx.
from my Nana anyway, so we better make it cool. I'm sending this to Nana Eames.
Are you really sending
Yeah.
it to Nana Eames?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, how fun is that? Make sure it's colors that she would like, too.
Screw her.
Nana Eames is going to get a nice gift. All right, we're going to say goodbye for now. Remember, on Wednesday, we are live at, we are at New Haven to do the teaching and the talking, and we will record something live for you there. But we won't be here because we'll be there. And then it's a to be continued on Friday because I think it is important to get to that rug show in Florence, Massachusetts at the Bombyx, Bombyx. It's a felted rug that they're auctioning, but it's a different technique. Super artsy circles there. It's an important installation now, and it's going up for auction on Friday night. It's been on display for like a month. So I feel like we should cover that. So my thought right now is to run the next show on Sunday. but I might be to you before then if some time opens up and we want to do something else. I want to remind you that Kirsten is running the hook-in, the live hook-in, tomorrow, Tuesday, so be looking for that Zoom information on our Facebook group, which is Raw Cooking and Punch Needle Club. If you are not on Facebook and you want to live into the, what is it at? It's at 11, right? 11 to 1. If you want to log into that and you don't have Facebook, send me an email and I'll forward it to Kirsten. All right? So otherwise...
Somebody likes your blue with that purple.
Oh.
Damn it.
I
It's
like the
coming
blue
out.
too.
You
Don't
cannot
fall in love with
convince
the
me
blue
otherwise.
too much. He
Or
never
me,
wanted
ladies
to
and
put it
gentlemen.
in the
Or
first
me.
place. Yeah. We'll see what happens. He'll make good choices for Nana Eames.
Nana Eames.
We will see you soon. I will see you in some way on Wednesday.
No
and
relation to the furniture.
No,
Unfortunately.
Right. All right. Hey, we will see you all. So you're getting lots of compliments. It looks really good. You see all that?
No.
Yes, you do. We'll see you soon. Have
Bye,
a
guys.
great afternoon. Take care,
Peace and
everybody.
love.